And we're back with some more Calgary Flames franchise mode in FHM 9. And this one, we are at the Year 1 playoffs against the Anaheim Ducks, who are 49, 25, and 8. So let's get right to it. All right, here we go. Game number 1. That will be a 6-4 Anaheim win. Shots are 37-36 in favor of your Calgary Flames. And the 3 stars of the game, McTavish, Elfring, and Zegras. So Elfring with 2 goals in his first playoff game. Very nice. First period, Anaheim gets a goal by Dickinson and Yarchuk, puts them up 2-0. Second period, Husnetsky gets the goal to put them up 3-0. But then Doug Elfring with his first playoff goal in the NHL from Stankoven and Brisson. Third period, Coronado scores from Beecher to get it to 3-2. Then Villanueva from McNeil gets it tied at 3. But then Perreault, Zegras, and Ciernik score back-to-back to get Anaheim up 6-3. And Doug Elfring with the second of the game from Stankoven and Emery. But too little, too late as we lose 6-4. And unfortunately, Alexis Bernier is injured. Oh no, how long? Okay, it doesn't look too long, but it is major. Yeah, heel soreness day-to-day. Probably going to be unavailable for game number 2, unfortunately. That is not good. Alexis Bernier, definitely our best offensive defenseman. Yep, as I figured, he is currently out of the lineup. So we're going to have to go game number 2 without Bernier. And it will be a 3-2 Anaheim win. Shots are 40-31 in favor of Anaheim. 3 stars of the game, Tracy, Brisson, and Ciernik. First period, 36 seconds in, you have Brendan Brisson gets the game started for us from Stankoven and Martin, make it 1-0, and then Matthew Coronado from Beecher and Byram. So we actually go up 2-0 in the first period, and it appears we lose the lead afterward. As in the second period, Jacob Perreault on the power play gets Anaheim on the board, and then the third period, Tracy unassisted, and Zegras gets the game to an Anaheim win. So starting out down 2-0, that is unfortunate. All right, come on, Calgary. Alexis Bernier is back in there for game number 3, and it will be a 6-3 Calgary win. Okay, so home team has won every time so far. Shots at 37-35 in favor of Anaheim. 3 stars of the game is Stankoven, Brisson, and Elfring with 2 assists. First period, you have Zegras, the first goal of the game for Anaheim to put them up 1-0. Then you have Coronado on the power play from Stankoven and Bernier to make it 1-1, and then McTavish with the goal for Anaheim to get them up 2-1 heading into the second period, where Villanueva scores from Michaud and Bernier to get us tied at 2. Then you have Crystal from Byram and Villanueva to get us up by 1. Then Zegras on the power play to get it tied once again. Brendan Brisson from Elfring and Stankoven, and then Byram from Elfring and Hannafin to close out the second period up by 2 goals for the Calgary Flames. And then in the third, Logan Stankoven from Brendan Brisson and Matthew Coronado gets us the 6-3 win. All right, come on, Calgary. Game number 4. We have a 3-2 Calgary win. So once again, home team has won every time so far. Shots are 33-23 in favor of Anaheim. 3 stars of the game, Emery, Terry, and Coronado. First period, you have Husnetsky for Anaheim. Then second period, you have Bowen Byram with the goal from John Beecher and EJ Emery to get us tied. Then Brendan Brisson with the goal from Emery and Coronado. Then you have Troy Terry on the power play to make it tied at 2. Then Alexis Bernier with the game-winning goal from Coronado and Hannafin. No scoring in the third. All right, here we go. Game number 5. Very, very important game against the Anaheim Ducks. Sim game, we have a 5-2 Anaheim win. I don't like the pattern this is taken. Shots are 55-24 Anaheim. Not what you like to see. 3 stars of the game, Michkov, Colangelo, and Tracy. First period, you have Tracy with the goal for Anaheim. Second period, you have Villanueva with the first goal for us from Bernier and Hannafin. Then you have Matvei Michkov with the goal for Anaheim to put them up by 1. Third period, you have 3 goals in a row for Anaheim, Colangelo, Michkov, and De La Sala. And then later on, you have Matthew Coronado with the goal for us from Beecher and Martin, but once again, too little, too late. All right, here we go. Going into game number 6, elimination game. Here we go. Come on, Calgary. And there's a goal from Matthew Coronado from John Beecher and Bowen Byram. We're up by 1. And heading to the second. And there's another one. Owen Martin from EJ Emery and John Beecher. Up by 2. And there's another EJ Emery from Justin Ertel and Matthew Coronado. Up by 3 heading into the third period. And there's another one. Owen Martin with the second goal of the game on the penalty kill. It looks like, yeah, penalty kill. Only 4 guys out there. From Andrew Crystal, we are up by 4. And there's a goal for them. Sam Colangelo from Tracy and Tetarenko. Lachlan Tetarenko, the guy who we had with the Western Michigan Broncos. Right, because he was drafted to Anaheim. Yeah, seeing a couple of familiar faces here now that we're in the NHL. There's another one, Braden Tracy. Come on, guys. There you go. Alexei Michaud from Villanueva and Crystal. This is up by 3. And that will be the game. We are going to a game 7. So once again, the home team has won every game. And hopefully we can change that for game number 7. Shots were 39-33 in favor of Calgary. And the 3 stars of the game, Emery, Coronado, and Beecher. All right, here we go. Game number 7 in Anaheim. Come on, Calgary. There it is. Logan Stankoven from Elfring and Brisson. Up by 1. There's another one. Andrew Crystal from McNeil and Villanueva. Up by 2. Oh, there's one for them. Lachlan Tetarenko from Sachin and Fascia. And that is it for 1. Heading into the second period now. Come on, Calgary. Yeah, there's one. EJ Emery from Matthew Coronado and Logan Stankoven. Up by 2 once again. And there's one for Doug Elfring from Bernier and Hannafin. His 3rd of the playoffs. And we are looking pretty good right now. Come on, Calgary. Just one more period of this, and we'll be after the second round. Come on. There's one for them. Della Sala. Come on, Calgary. There it is. We win against the Anaheim Ducks, and we are moving on to round number 2. Very nicely done. Shots were 36-42 in favor of Anaheim, though they outshot us, but we got more goals. 3 stars of the game, Stankoven, Sachin, and Hart. So Carter Hart coming through with the 40 save performance and a 952 save percentage. What a stud. All right, so let's take a look at the stats for the playoffs before we move into our next series. Matthew Coronado with 10 points so far. Then you have Stankoven with 8, Elfring with 6. So didn't have the greatest regular season, or I mean, it was okay, you know, for a first season in the NHL, 43 points. It's not bad, but you know, for being a 5-star player, I did expect a little bit more out of him offensively, and he gets 6 points in 7 games played in his first playoff series in the NHL. Cannot complain about that. Although what I am surprised about is that he does not have too good of a defensive grade compared to usual. He's usually somewhere around like up here in the low 70s at minimum, and some reason he's down there at 59. I guess he needs to get used to the defensive pace of the playoffs a little bit more, but nonetheless, he did perform very well in that series, so I can't complain. Then you also have Villanueva, Brisson, Emery, Beecher, all with 6 points. So at least for this round, I'm glad I did not trade Beecher at the trade deadline. Then you have Byram and Bernier with 5 points, Crystal and Hannafin with 4. So just really all around depth scoring in that first round. And goalie stats in 7 games played, Carter Hart with the 917 save percentage. Let's see if he can keep that going through the playoffs. And we have round number 2 against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are 53, 25, and 4. Let's take a look at their roster. They have Whitehead, Theodore, Peter, Eichel, Kiviharyu, Chaika, Rozov, Poulin. So they may not have any point per game players here, but they certainly do have a lot of scoring depth. So definitely something we need to watch out for. As far as goaltending, you have Whitehead, their starting goalie, with 4 shutouts and a 926 save percentage on the regular season. So this should be a pretty tough series here. So with that being said, let's get into it. Series against Vegas underway. And that will be a 6-4 Vegas win in game number 1. Shots are 24-32 favor of Vegas. 3 stars of the game, Poulin, Brisson, and Chaika. First period, you have a goal by Martin from Coronado and Beecher. Then you have a goal by Patrick to get it tied at 1. Second period, you have a goal by Peter and then Lagar to get them up by 2. And then Chase Harrington from Noah Hannafin and Alexei Bernier to cut the deficit to 1. But then Poulin on the power play gets it back to 2 for Vegas. And the third period, you have Brendan Brisson from Doug Elfring and Logan Stankoven, and then Chase Harrington from Alexei Bernier and Brendan Brisson to make it tied at 4. But then halfway through the period, you have Daniil Chaika with the goal for Vegas to put them up by 1, and then later on, you have Samuel Poulin to seal the deal at a 6-4 win for Vegas. Here we go, game number 2 underway. And that will be a 4-1 Vegas victory. Shots are 37-19 in favor of Vegas. 3 stars of the game, Theodore, Lagar, and Morozov. Not liking that. First period, you have Ranta and Lagar twice to get them up by 3, heading into the second period where Lallier scores to get them up 4-0. And then Doug Elfring with the lone goal of the game for us from Stankoven in the third period. Late in the third period, I might add. But unfortunately, I don't think this game or that goal are going to do much for our confidence in this series. At least that's how it looks with the way we're starting here. So there's a big game number 3. If we can't win this, then certainly not looking good. It's obviously not over till it's over though. So we got to go into this game and come at them hard in the first period. Come on, Calgary. Oh my goodness, Vegas, they're just too good. 6-2 victory for the Vegas Golden Knights. Shots are 43-32 in favor of Vegas. 3 stars of the game, Poulin, Peter, and Rondeau. First period, Elfring with yet another goal. His 5th of the playoffs from Martin and Brisson to get us up 1-0, but then Poulin twice to get Vegas up by 1. Then Chase Harrington late in the period from Andrew Crystal gets us tied heading into the second period, but then Rondeau, Lallier, and Rondeau again score for Vegas to get them up 5-2, and then Poulin, just for good measure, halfway through the third, gets them up 6-2, and that is the final score. Yeah, not looking good. We are down by 3. We need to pull off the reverse sweep here. I mean, it's very unlikely, but we'll go into it anyway. Come on, Calgary. Yeah, all right. There's a goal for Bernier from Coronado and Brisson, up by 1. And there's a goal for Logan Mayo. Oh, man. Come on, Calgary. All right, Doug Elfring scores once again. I believe that is that like the 3rd game in a row that he scored from Hannafin, and Stankoven gets us up by 1. Come on, Calgary, get the insurance mark. Brett Howden from Lallier and Chaika gets it tied at 2. Come on, Calgary. Oh boy, overtime. Oh no, not liking this. Not liking this. And Vegas gets the goal. Soderstrom with the goal to end the series in a 4-game sweep. That is unfortunate. Oh man. Shots of 43-40 in favor of Vegas. 3 stars of the game, Chaika, Stankoven, and Whitehead with the 950 save percentage. So clearly still got a lot of work to do with this team. Couldn't have expected to win year number 1, though it would have been nice. So we're going to need to see how we can improve our team in the offseason. But in the meantime, let's check out the final playoff stats for us. So leading the team with 12 points, Matthew Coronado. And then you have Stankoven with 11, Elfring and Brisson with 10. So very good performance for Doug Elfring in his first playoff appearance. Then you have Bernier with 8, 7 for Beecher, 6 for Villanueva, Emery, and Hannafin, 5 for Byram and Crystal, 3 for Harrington and the 2 Martins, 2 for Michaud and McNeil, 1 for Ertel, 0 for everybody else. And goalie's Hart with the 902 save percentage. Yeah, that was expected after that series against Vegas. And then Gage Alexander actually got in there for 10 minutes and recorded 1 save. And now with that over, I would like to re-sign a couple of players here. I think Villanueva, he had a good enough season to be re-signed. I mean, he's a 3-star defenseman, so not exactly going to let that walk away. He's 24 years of age. No reason to not re-sign him. 2.09? No. Okay, so he's not exactly having the negotiations here. 2.15? All right, cool. Now, Gage Alexander, do I want him? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the grade right there is probably the playoff grade, right? Because he only played literally 10 minutes. But during the regular season, in the 15 games he played, he had a 930 save percentage, so I can't complain about that. So I think we will re-sign Gage Alexander. He wants 2.38 for 3 years. I will try to take you down. All right, so he's not really budging much on the negotiating. I'm at 2.15. He's at 2.33. His mood is very bad, so I guess we'll just go 2.33. I mean, I think if he can keep up what he was doing this season as a backup goaltender, I'll gladly pay 2.3 for that. Because a 930 save percentage over 15 games, that's pretty significant. Take it from me as a Devils fan, as you know, the Devils went through, it must have been like 7 goal. I think it was like 7 goaltenders last year. Obviously, that's partly due to injury, but having a good backup goaltender when it counts is really, really important. So I will gladly pay that amount for Gage Alexander if he can continue to perform like he did this season. Now, as for Vlad Vison, 2.5-star ability goaltender playing for the minor league team. What does he want? 1 mil? I don't know. He's not even really that impressive in the AHL, especially not this year. He was a backup in the AHL this year. I'm not paying that. I'll skip on that. I think I'll find a better 3rd stringer in free agency, honestly. EJ Emery, yeah, I think I'll sign you. 33 points during the regular season, and during the playoffs, I believe he had a couple of points there. Yeah, he had 6 points in the playoffs in 10 games. 24 years of age, so yeah, I'll sign Emery. He wants 2.1. I'll start at 1.75 and then go from there. 1.83, 1.9. All right, let's meet at 2 mil. How about that? Nope. He wants 2.03. All right, I'll do that. Ludwig Persson, no. that is very bad. Ertel, I mean, yeah, not all that great. Yeah, no one down here really interests me too much. I'll sign a couple of them as depth, mostly the younger guys, but anyone who's like 25 or older of these guys down here, I think I'll release. Or if they're asking for contracts like that as guys who are in the AHL. Yeah, I don't think I'm willing to pay that much to a player who has not been in the NHL, at least not for me. It looks like he played 13 games for the Flames last year, but even then, that was, 13 games of not much going on there. So I don't think I'm going to pay him an NHL contract. All right, I think I signed everyone who I want signed, so that is a lot of players going out, unfortunately, but you know, it's our first year on the job, so we're bound to need to do some cleaning up here. So all these players are heading out in the offseason. And we have a Stanley Cup champion, the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, I mean, you kind of figured that after they swept through us, not only us, but Arizona as well. They went through Nashville in 6, Calgary in 4, Arizona in 4, and the New Jersey Devils in 6. And they are the Stanley Cup champions. And the time has come to sign some of our prospects. I will not be signing any of the guys expiring this year. Luce, Gilmore, or Janusz. They're just not very good. So I think we'll be ignoring them. But who we will be signing from our former employer, the Western Michigan Broncos, Alex Pegamagabo. He is pretty good offensively already, as we know. And defensively, pretty good as well. Mentally, not exactly great, but serviceable. So I think he is ready for the NHL. I mean, he's got a 3-star ability after all, so I would imagine he is ready for the NHL. And there you go. Submit offer to Pegamagabo. There's also Jimmy Delisle. Could be some nice depth. I can't imagine he'll be making the NHL, but you never know. So I think we'll sign him. There's Ryan Smith, also from Western Michigan. Only 1.5-star ability, but we are losing quite a few wingers in the AHL this year, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to sign him. And it's not like his potential is all that great either, so he's probably going to be an AHL player for his career, but still, I'll just get some more depth signed. Then you have Brody Meehan of the Eagles. A 1-star ability, 4.5-star potential. I think I'll leave him unsigned for right now. Want him to develop a little bit more. And I think that is all we are doing for the unsigned players for right now. And we have the awards for the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Maurice Richard, Connor McDavid. Who else? And the Lady Bing, Matt Boldy of Minnesota. And the Bill Masterton, David Pasternak. And you have the Mark Messier Leadership Award for Jacob Chikrin. And the Jennings Trophy to Cameron Whitehead of Vegas. Yeah, that makes sense. He was a beast against us. And for the Hart, between McDavid, Beddard, and Boldy, you have McDavid with 130 points, my goodness. And the Conn Smythe goes to Shea Theodore of Vegas with 18 points in 20 games played. The Calder between DeRoche, Kelsey, and Elfring. I can't imagine it's Elfring. As much as I want it to be, I don't think it is. Yeah, DeRoche of Dallas with 65 points in 82 games played. And the Norris between Murray, Cormier, and Theodore, Shea Theodore. For the Selke between DeRoche, Varconi, and Stenberg, it is Michael Stenberg of Columbus. For the Vezina between Schmid, Odinger, and Whitehead, it's Cameron Whitehead of Vegas. For the best GM between Darsh, Pat Verbeek, and Pierre Dorian is Matthew Darsh of Carolina. And for the Jack Adams between Smith, John Hines, and Vince McGill, it is John Hines of Carolina. And we have the last day of the 2029-30 NHL season. We were not manager of the year, of course. We did reach the playoffs. We had a winning season and a winning percentage of 600 better. Did not finish first, reach the finals, or win the championship. No negative categories, meaning our total season score is at 23 and total career score at 251. Of course, carrying over from what we had in the Western Michigan Broncos franchise mode. And besides self-preservation, I have all the GM ratings maxed out. And self-preservation, frankly, doesn't matter too much because I have human GM firings to off. So I think I'll start putting points into the head coach ratings so that maybe someday down the line, we could be the coach of the Calgary Flames. Obviously not anytime soon though, because we still got quite a bit to work on here. So I think I'll go for tactics and in-game tactics. All right, so we are now on July 1st, and this is our roster to start things out. We have 2 goaltenders in Hart and Alexander. You have 8 defensemen, and at forward, you have 14 forwards, I believe that is. We have a full roster. We don't necessarily need anything as far as holes to fill, but I think I still want to take a look at free agency regardless, see what's out there. I would like to get a 3rd-string goaltender, because Visan didn't really impress me much. That said, I also don't want to be paying like $2 million to a 3rd-string goaltender, so I don't think it's going to be anybody up here. Yeah, I think I'll give Robble a chance here. He only wants $815,000, and he had a .913 save percentage in the AHL last year, so I'll give him a chance. I think what I'm really interested in is defenseman here. Speaking of which, there is Charlie McAvoy. Not a bad one to get. He is 32, though. I don't know if that really... Does that really fit our direction? I'd be more tempted for Lambos, to be honest, because he's only 27. Get more use out of him. And his offensive categories, I would say roughly the same, if not... Honestly, he might be better than McAvoy offensively. Yeah, I'd say he's better offensively than McAvoy. Defensively, though, no, definitely not. McAvoy is definitely better defensively. What about Ty Smith? Nah, definitely not Ty Smith. If we're going big, we're going either McAvoy or Lambos. And as far as all-around utility, McAvoy is definitely the winner there, but I don't know. I just don't know about the age. Like, are we at that point where we can go after veteran players like him right now? Because as good as the season we had last year, I don't know if that's the right way to go with this team. Because I feel like we definitely need to get younger defensively. I mean, we got Hannafin at 33, Byram at 29. We do have Bernier, let's say Bernier at 24, but no one else besides him really who's much of an impact player. EJ Emery's all right, but not anything special. Let's see, what's in the draft? There's Troy Kilrea as the best player available in the drafts by far. Looks like these late year drafts in the NHL at least are still not all too good as far as potential. Still, I don't like seeing only one 4.5 star potential player, then the rest are frankly not all that impressive. I mean, 3 stars not bad by any means, but usually you expect to have 5-star players at least in the top 5. So I'm not sure if there's much worth trading up for in this draft. Maybe Jason Sheets. He's pretty good offensively, pretty decent defensive category as an offensive defenseman. Yeah, he's actually listed as a 2-way defenseman. Mental ratings are a bit low, but everything else is pretty good on him. Where's he ranked? So he's ranked at 79. Yeah, I would imagine we could get him later as long as the rankings are accurate, which I will take with a grain of salt, a very small grain of salt. Yeah, definitely someone worth going after, especially if I decide not to pursue McAvoy. Who we have coming up this year for contracts? You have Hart, Beecher, Stankoven, Hannafin as the big names. Harrington's going to want to raise for sure. Hart might want even more based off his performance this season. Yeah, 9.3. And then Beecher, what do you want? 6.8? Nah. Listen, I was willing to do 5.6 for you for 1 year, but 6.8? You better, if you want that kind of contract, you better perform this year, Beecher. I'm not re-signing you just for defense for that much money. Stankoven, 6 mil. Yeah, he's worth that for sure. Yeah, he had 74 points last year. In fact, I may as well re-sign him now. I'll start at 5.5. All right, how about 5.6? He wants 5.8. How about we meet in the middle, 5.7? Cool. I think I'll also sign Harrington right now, just to make sure that price doesn't get any higher. Start at 2.8. Oh, he's already asking for less than his market value. Yeah, I mean, he's only 22. I mean, I think holding on to him for 3 years at this much money won't be that much of a detriment. And even if it's not, I can always trade him, So, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Now, as far as free agency goes, I don't know. We could definitely use McAvoy. I'm not denying that. He would be a huge upgrade. It's just a matter of, do I want to take on someone that age for that much money? Because he's asking for 8.7 and a no movement clause. And I know you gotta pay up to get the good players. I understand that, but is it worth it for the 3 years that we're gonna have him for? I think Beecher would have to go if we're signing McAvoy, which I don't have a problem with that, honestly, because as we saw earlier, like 6.8 for 3, that's way too much for Beecher. Like only 30 points. Yeah, definitely not doing that. So yeah, I think that's something I'd be willing to do. So I will go after McAvoy. I'll take him up to 9 mil just to be safe. 9 mil for 3 years and the no movement clause. That's a big commitment for sure, but I think he'll be worth it for at least the first 2 years of that contract. And then even as he turns 35, even if he's not worth it at that point, it's not like it'll be a big deal because he'll be expiring that year anyway. Yeah, this is a gamble I'll take. As for response, he is thrilled. I sure hope so. So I think with that, we are done with moves until we know what McAvoy's response is. So let's advance a little bit. Ooh, Boston's a top offer, so they one-upped us. All right. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? 12.0? No, you don't. Nope, I'm backing out. I am certainly that. I'm not going anywhere near 12 mil for McAvoy. I'm sorry. I mean, he's a good player, but no. Absolutely not. Wow. That is, like, did Boston actually offer him 12 mil? Like, I'm going to have to take a look at that again once McAvoy signs somewhere, because he was asking me, he asked me for 9 mil, and then Boston just one-ups me like, here you go, 12 mil. Sheesh. All right, so that's not happening. All right, it's a good thing Lambos is still there. So I think, I'm going to withdraw my offer for McAvoy. That was not happening ever. So Lambos, offer contract. All right, good. He only wants 5.8. That's a bit more manageable. So I think I'll give you 6 mil for 3 years. There you go. And with that, we are at the draft lottery, so we may as well see the draft lottery, but we're definitely not going to do the draft. That is going to be saved for the next one. So we are not in it, of course, as we were in the playoffs, and we didn't have any traded draft picks. So let's just skip through it and see who's number one. We have Vancouver, Florida, and the Rangers as the top 3 in the draft lottery. Oh man, Carson Lambos, he's out here asking for more too. What do you want? Oh my goodness. What do you expect from me? You asked for 5.8 and now you're going up by 2 mil? Yeah, Montreal offered Lambos. I mean, I guess teams are throwing out the bids now. Oh man, that is such a hard... The teams are just throwing money away like it's nothing on these players. Is he worth that much money? I would probably have to give him more than 7.8, so like 8 mil. Is he worth 8 mil? I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, we do need defensemen, but I don't know. So I think in the meantime, I'm gonna end this one off here. In the next one, I suppose we'll have our decision on Carson Lambos, and we will also do the draft. I'll leave you guys off here. And the next one, we'll get through the draft and the rest of the offseason of year number 1 with your Calgary Flames. See you guys then.